What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and you guys, of course, are the co-hosts for this evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and the rest of the antics. What's going on, Brother Nate? How are you? Hey, Patty Duke. Nice to always see you guys. And we're just gonna, as always, get into a few things, not too much, but yeah, it's a lot going on right now. Here we go, yet again. I am saying the same thing, repeating myself, almost like Groundhog's Day. Everything, you wake up and it's just over and over and over and over and over again. But unfortunately, here we are again with another unarmed black man being killed at the hands of the police because an officer can't tell the difference between a taser and a firearm. I'm just a bit confused. After 25 years in the force, you should know the difference between the weight of a firearm and the weight of a taser. But I'm even more a little perplexed about the whole situation in regards to the fact that two men officers could not handle or detain that one male, that she had to even involve herself in that for what I do not know. But whatever. We'll talk about that. We will also talk about some other things. Johnson & Johnson, of course, put a halt on their vaccine. So that has caused a bit of concern for some. We will also be talking about, of course, the protest and the chief of police who called himself turning out the lights at the police station where they went to go protest so he can launch tear gas and stuff, and the reporters and the cameras wouldn't be able to see the assault that they rained on the people. He resigned. We will also talk about the police officer. Okay, we will also talk about the police officer resigning. Don't mind me, that was my other light that fell. We will talk about the police officer resigning in regards to after shooting that young man. Of course, she gets to resign and keep her pension as the rest of these murderers do. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about, I don't know if many of you knew that Jacob Blake, remember the young man who got shot in the back while he was leaving argument with either his ex-girlfriend or mother of his children, or however that situation happened. Remember, he was shot in the back by a police officer. That police officer has now returned to duty amongst all this. And also a story that I just came across as I was ending work, that a black undercover officer was actually beaten like Rodney King. He claims it was pure racism. So we'll get into that and some other things. But first and foremost, again, I'd like to say thank you and welcome to everybody who decided to join and hang out. Welcome to the people in the balcony for chilling. And of course, I will drop this good old link early because I'm going to just be rambling and I might forget. So therefore, I'm going to do that now. All right. Buy a couple of packs of toilet paper. Really? I think I will. So, hey, Sabrina, what's going on? So, all right, let's get into a few things. So first, I know I don't really go in order here, but I'll just go in order as far as my notes is concerned. Okay, so first we'll talk about the Johnson & Johnson. Anybody who was a fan of getting the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, I'm not knocking it. All I'm saying is do your research because Johnson & Johnson has been known to have some problems down the line with their products, i.e., like the talcum powder causing ovarian cancer in women and some other things. So, it's just things that you kind of got to be aware about and do your research. Now, I'm not saying that Johnson & Johnson is an overall bad brand, but there have been some links to a lot of things, so it makes you kind of a little side-eye. And now that this is come about that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine causes blood clots, dangerously enough that they had to put an entire halt on it. I mean, it could also have something to do with all of the vaccines that were destroyed in Baltimore a couple of weeks ago. But I don't think so. I just think maybe, side effects are side effects. And I get that you try to push it out and you figure that the side effects are going to be minimal. But when the side effects actually become very dire, to the record where it grabs the attention of the company to halt production, this is a bit of a problem, and it's a lot larger than we think. So, no powdered nuts. Well, I mean, yeah, they're probably not powdered nuts, but they're powdered on the inside. They powdered somewhere, but yeah. So, I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I wasn't really a fan of Johnson & Johnson, but then with all of this going on, I don't know. It was just a bit like, I guess. That people are going to do what they want to do, and, you support it or whatever, but I just think that we, need to be careful. Take the vaccine if you wish. If not, that's your prerogative. But just do your research. My thing is about being educated. You're educated about your decision, then you can make the best decision that is for you. And I think definitely that is something that we need to do moving forward, especially with this vaccine and knowing that how it affects us in our communities. Not saying that we don't need to take it because, of course, we need to make sure that we are protecting ourselves and our loved ones. So by all means, if you have to, or if it's in your best interest to protect your people, then definitely do so. Let me know when you're ready, sir. To protect your people, it's in your best interest. So, therefore, we need to start really looking into that. But definitely do your research. I wouldn't jump on the bandwagon right away because it's important. It's not just something you just, inject yourself with and keep it moving. I'm that way with the flu shot. I wasn't, keen on jumping to get it. I got it one time. I got real sick after that, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll definitely take my chances with that. But I don't know. Are you ready? Okay. Hey, sir.
Hey, man.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. And yourself, man?
Good. I'm good.
Good. How's everybody doing? All right?
Everybody's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Johnson & Johnson.
Yes.
The only thing is the fact that it was convenient. It was one shot.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was. Some people were like, well, I don't want to do the 2 shots. I'd rather just do the 1 shot and get it over with and not have to come back, which is true. But now that these cases of blood clots, and I'm sure they had cases while they were doing the study, but they were minimal. So they just figured, okay, we can go. And now that it's growing with these cases, they had to definitely put a halt on it. That was a bit like, oh, okay,
Well, maybe it was a good thing they did mess up those batches. Less people came in contact with that stuff.
Were they messing up the batches to begin with? Because that they were already messed up, and it was like, well, let's mess these up so it doesn't spread any further, and we'll just stop the production.
Yeah. Well, with these vaccines anyway, you're going to have some sort of reaction.
Right, you are, because they're just that, they're just delivered just like that. It's like when there's no kind of real trials. A lot of vaccines go through yearly, years and years and years before they actually come out to people. So something like this that was dire and needed attention and kind of attack, they didn't have time to do all that. So
Yeah. Because they still don't know whether or not you're going to need a booster.
Right.
Because now they're talking. They were talking about a booster. So it only lasts for 6 months and that's it.
Right. Then what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You might as well let it run its course. I mean, except for people who have underlying conditions, real bad stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why the push for the one shot was being pushed. That's why when Johnson & Johnson got the green light, it was catapulting because it was a way to get everybody a bit of something to where in which we could start to have herd immunity without, So
but having to go back twice, that's another thing.
Yeah.
But just think about how much money these companies are making.
Millions. The stock has been rising. Johnson & Johnson stock right now is pretty low because of the callback, so it dropped. A share is $38, I think, or something like that. One of them, but the rest of these pharmaceutical companies have been skyrocketing. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
I was just about to get into this whole. Here we are again talking about in the same city, miles away from where it all began, almost this time last year.
Yeah,
another underarmed black man losing his life for what? For what? I am beyond.
For a traffic stop, you needed 3 police officers.
2 men and a woman. And then the woman's trying to get herself involved for what? For what? If you were there to assist with the woman that was in the car with him, then go do that. There was no reason. I was just so why were you even there? First of all, he wasn't even that big. Let's be very clear. So if them 2 white men could not physically do what they needed to do to get him to calm down or whatever, to do what they need to do, I just really didn't understand it. But it became very clear to me watching the trial, because I've been watching that too, and just hear them constantly talk about how big George Floyd was. He was man of brute force. No, you just saw a big black man. Instantly, you just think, and I was just thinking about this before I even got on. As Hillary Clinton said eons ago, they're super predators.
That's
always been the thought and the concept of how they view us. So it wouldn't matter what we did. It wouldn't matter that the young man in Aurora, Colorado, who was artistic or whatever, and they injected him because, and as small as he was, it's like you're a predator. You're a super predator. You're subhuman. So we have to handle you all this way. It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. I am to the roof with it. Dante was a student of George Floyd's girlfriend. Oh, okay. I did hear they did say it was some connection, but I didn't know what the connection was. But as I was leaving work, they were saying that there was some sort of connection that Dante had with George Floyd, but I didn't hear what it was. That's it's just really crazy. And the way this police chief was just so it was an accident.
You knew what that meant when they said it was an accident. Right. You knew how it was going to go, and it's like, well, goddamn, they jumped on this shit real fast.
Right. And you quick to jump on it to say it was an accident. She quickly, put her finger up and said, "I'm out." And it was like, well, damn, you don't wait for due process. I thought the police chief said everybody gets due process, right? The police officers get due process. So if the police officers get due process, why can't everybody else get due process that's not a police officer?
Now I wonder if they advised her to leave early so that she can collect her pension.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Because that's the name of the game here. It's not for them to pay for their mistakes. It's for the victims to pay victims.
Yeah.
They're not worried about, their whole thing is keeping their money, keeping their pensions, keeping whatever kind of little money they have. That's why my thing is, if a police officer steps out of those realms, the family should be able to sue. Now, whether that family will be able to have any money, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's what you take.
That's the first thing you go after is that pension.
That's it. I mean, it's kind of, you get away scot-free to allow yourself to do these type of things and nothing happens. Hey, everybody, welcome as you come in. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out. So it's ridiculous. And at this point, it's like, one, I do wish that people would stop burning and destroying stuff in your neighborhood. My whole thing is like, if you really want them to do something, you start going in their neighborhoods. Even if you're not destroying anything, just your presence alone will cause them to be like, oh no, we don't want them here. You know?
No, go to the police station, go to the courthouses.
Right.
You go to those areas. You don't tear up in the residential area.
Right. Because what you wind up doing, and a lot of people just don't get it, you wind up giving them the upper hand, because all it does is they'll go, okay, you destroyed this store, you destroyed that store. Oh, no problem. What we're going to do is we were thinking about coming in here and changing it up anyway. You just helped us out. Now we're just going to pay the store owner, because at this point, they're not going to want to rebuild it or even do anything about that. All right, I'm going to leave. Here you go. Here's the money. And next thing you know, you got a Starbucks and all this other stuff that you've never seen in your area all of a sudden, and more other people.
Yeah.
So,
because they're going to go and remodel anyway.
Right. So, just like you help them along instead of just showing up at those places, just like they did at the police. And that's another reason why I think the police chief quit, is because it's going to come out, of course, that there was no police officer that was hit with no brick or with no frozen soda can, that y'all just was like, they're here, get them out of here. And you cut the lights off so the cameras would not see that you guys were shooting gas and rubber bullets and everything else at these protesters.
Lynn T, I think she was there for 26 years? She had 26 years on 25? 25. Yeah.
Yeah, like 25, and you can't tell the difference between a taser.
No, like I said, you wear it on opposite sides of your body.
Right. When you screaming, I'm gonna tase you, and not one moment did you want to look and be like, but I still.
Did you see in the body cam, their tasers are yellow, have yellow handles.
Yellow handles, and the gun part, the front is yellow.
Yeah. So how do you not see that if you're holding it up and you're hollering taser?
Right.
Why are they always quick to use deadly force?
It's because because I believe that's the way they view. That's the way they're trained, and that's the way they view us. Like kill on sight. It's not even a thing of protecting or kind of diffusing the situation. And again, I'm not saying all, but
it's close enough. It's close enough. Right. And they all have that. They all have a certain mentality.
Right. And for me, it's like the ones who do not participate, you're not speaking up enough.
Yeah. So you're just as guilty.
So you're really
just as guilty. Right. Until it's your turn and your ass gets 10 years.
Right.
for shooting somebody, for shooting a white woman.
Right. For shooting a white woman, and you still sitting in jail.
Now see why that cop sitting in jail, he needs to be working with his team to get his ass out of there.
Right. Pretty much. It's absolutely ridiculous. I've been shooting since I was 12 years old. A training person would mistake a taser for a 9mm gun. Right. That's absolutely right. But again, that's how they view. That's how we are viewed. We're viewed like we always have a gun. We're all dealing drugs. We're all, just like the lieutenant in Virginia. They didn't care what he said, what he instantly they thought black SUV, temp tags, he's selling drugs. That's it. That's it. Even the way they were talking to him was disrespectful. And then you're gonna sit there and say that they have to respect you, but you can be disrespectful to him. He said, I don't care what you are, lieutenant, whatever. I don't care what you are. Get on the floor. His rank would be higher than yours. So when you show some respect, I'm pretty sure a lot of these young police officers, play what's that, Call of Duty type dudes, come from the military themselves. Okay?
Yeah.
They did a little stint in the military, had fun shooting up brown folks, and decided, oh well,
Now, see, that was another case. As soon as they stepped out of the vehicles, weapons were drawn.
Right. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Weapons were drawn, and for a whole year, they were on administrative leave. The only reason why they got fired this week is because that video super viral.
Yeah. Because the first thing I said was, oh, shit, he only have his mask on. But then once I figured out that this was much earlier, you know.
Right. But then again, here we go with the, where was your hands? His hands was already outside
the window.
And they instantly came with guns drawn. So you're going to tell me what? It's not a that's just a case by case incident. No, they knew exactly what they were doing. They saw what they saw and they instantly assumed, oh yeah, this man's trafficking drugs. We got him. Yeah, and then they get caught, and then it's okay. Well, now that I've worked out my pension and where my wife can go to get the money if she needs.
Yeah, because he had a whole year. You can shift funds around.
Both officers had a whole year to shift funds around. Was on kind of a probationary kind of inside doing what, so still getting paid. This whole year while this whole thing was going on.
Now see when I tell you couples shouldn't mix finances, you should always keep separate finances, and that's one of the reasons why.
Right. Well,
you keep it simple. Keep everything separate and simple, and you can shift funds around. What's solely. Go ahead.
Derek Chapin, his wife. That's why she decided to divorce him.
Yeah,
so you can take the money.
So you can take the money,
and they can't sue her. She can't sue her gone after. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm over it. I am really just like fed up, and it's a corrupt system. And it's like I'm looking at was he the mayor? The black guy. I don't know if he's the mayor.
Oh, the young black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just like what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, I get it. They may have just picked you to diffuse the situation and diffuse what was going on with George Floyd or whatever, however you guys see. But his lack of preparedness, his sense of whatever it was in this news conference that he did earlier this afternoon, I was just so like, I mean, he didn't even know that the police officer had resigned. How did city council give you the authority to fire the police and take their pensions, all that? Yet they get to do that before you actually administer whatever it is that you're going to do, and they get to walk away with money in hand. I don't know.
No, they all have their contingency plan already set up.
Right, but that's my thing. It's like it's already set up, but it's been set up. So I don't understand why these people. Why do we play these games with these, politicians and people and all that? Even with, like I told you before, like with Joe Biden, still kind of, that whole black on black crime thing. Yeah, it's really true. But I'm still turn around and give the police departments, the military, the unused military equipment or used military equipment when they get new stuff. That still continues. For what?
For what reason? Well, he'll have troops too, because you hear they're talking about bringing home the troops from Iraq, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Iraq. One of them. Yeah. They're shooting for September the 11th.
Right. Right. But
well, you know what? They'll need it, because by then the United States will be nice and hot. There'll be so much shit going on.
Yeah, but it's like you don't even try to stop. You know, like no one is really trying to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like you try to diffuse it as much as you can, so you don't get pounded and pounced. But that was my whole thing, and I said it this afternoon. I think to my best friend, I was like, you would think that in the state and damn near the city that all this is happening right now, and you got a whole trial happening about a police officer killing a man. That every morning when y'all do y'all morning meeting briefs, that you would sit there and say, hey, if we can, by all means, please do not kill anyone.
And not only that, with the trial going on, less than 50 miles down the road.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like every morning, every day, every meeting, it should be, hey, our last resort is to pull out our gun and shoot somebody. I don't care if you tase them or they shaking and pissing on themselves. Do what you got to do. Please don't try to kill anybody. But the fact that even goes on, like as if they already know. And see, this is what they already know. There is no large repercussion for someone in a law-abiding uniform that is not black or brown or of any other color but white, that does something like this, and nothing will kind of sort of happen. You get a slap on the wrist, or maybe they'll put you in jail for 2 years. By that, you're in seclusion. The COs are taking care of you. The warden is taking care of you. So that's nothing like a little vacation. I'm sure that you sneak your wife in, everything else in that you.
Not only that, you can appeal it.
Right.
As soon as sentencing is laid down, then you're working on your case to appeal.
Right. Of course. And then they come right out, and you're like, well, damn, has it been that long yet? No, it hasn't. So while everything quieted down and you thought justice was served, the family got money and this one got money, they was like, okay, we'll work it in on the back end. Yeah, because like even with this case, like, oh, he was a big man. So they had to get other officers. Well, I could see that if he was acting aggressively, but through the entire video, in no way was he acting any way threatening to any one of them. So for you to even say he was a threat, you obviously instantly seen him as a threat, period. There was no reason for you to think he was a threat because he didn't even come off that way.
Yeah.
He wasn't aggressive. They were more aggressive than he was.
He was.
Yeah. And even, and then they had the lady he was with, the ex-girlfriend or whomever.
Oh, the redhead? the woman that was in the car with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this the best you can come up with for your first witness, let alone making sure that she don't come to court high? I don't care what nobody says. She high as hell. First of all, she had gloves on and she was scratching her wig.
Wait.
With the gloves on, which was irking me. And then I'm just like, she's hot.
Yeah. She's hot.
She can't be like nervous. I can see nervous, but it was just a little.
She needed to take the edge off.
Yeah, it was a little more than nervous. It was like she needed to take the edge off. But then it was like, what was the point of your testimony? Then when they showed the video of the police officer standing next to them while they were talking, not really knowing that, hey, Floyd was losing his life across the street. You're gonna use, oh well, yeah, he tried to give me he tried to give me some money too. I knew it was fake. As what? As a reason to say that justified him being murdered? Absolutely not. And especially when we already know now that the 20 came from the other gentleman who is refusing to testify because, of course, at this point, he will be liable.
Yes.
And he ain't trying to go down that route.
And he's not trying to go there. Not even trying to put himself out there.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Because he won't just be liable for all this. It's the more stuff that will be coming down the pipe. Because now you're dealing with counterfeit, soliciting counterfeit money and all such other stuff. And that's a whole nother bucket. So, yeah, we're not trying to go down that route.
Yeah. Yeah, Lynn T. They were already set up and ready when this other stuff happened Friday.
Yeah. Right. Well, they were set up and ready just for the trial.
Well, just for the trial, they were already ready.
Yeah. So now
they all had their shields and their black uniforms and all the rest of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're going to write convicted or acquitted. You think so? That's possible. I mean, because at the end of the day, we can clearly see that just because they give one family a lawsuit, or as many families as they have settled out of court or in court with, to pay them something for the murder of their sons or daughters, it still doesn't change the fact that it's still happening. So there's nothing done on the other end other than, all right, I guess we got to pay them.
Yeah.
I guess we got to have the people pay them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because it's not coming out of their pockets.
Right. It's business as usual. So
but not only that, pennies for life, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. So then, of course, the adage matters. Then our lives don't matter. Because clearly you could just pay one off.
Yeah.
Then
it's easy to spend other people's money.
That too. But when the other people's money is your money and you happen to possibly be a victim at some point, then what are you paying for your own? It's like insurance. Like, are you paying insurance? Is that what we're doing here? We paying city taxes and state taxes for insurance.
Yeah.
So just in case.
Because you know it's coming. You know it's coming. It's ridiculous, man. It is really ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense. So like I was saying earlier, the officer, I don't know if you knew, but the officer that shot Jacob Blake in the black, who was arguing with his child's mother, and then the police came and he said he gave him an order and he didn't stop. And that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, he was getting in the car and like I said, the first thing they do is grab their guns. Yeah. If you are afraid to go to work, it is not the job for you.
It just doesn't make sense. That's like people like, oh, I hate this job. I hate this job. You go, find another job.
Find another job.
You can't hate.
You know who and what you're going to have to come in contact with on a daily basis. And if you're not built for that, everybody's not built for that.
Right. But then too, a lot of people utilize the job to exercise their hatred. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I don't like you anyway, and I don't like the conditions I think you live in, because it's like that's the only thing I see. Because when I live, I don't see that. But you just go to other states, you'll see your people too living even worse and worse than a lot of us. But of course, you don't see that, and that's not shown to you, because it's only shown to you that white is right, white is better, and all this other bogus boogie. But yeah, so he's back on the floor. So then it's like, well, what lessons are learned? Oh, we gotta obey the police. They say stop, you stop. They say this, you do this. But it's funny how their counterparts can totally ignore the police and still nothing happens to them. It's not a thing of, well, if you just complied, they don't ever comply.
No, it still ends up bad. Put it like that. It still ends up bad.
Whether we comply or not, it still ends up that way. So that has nothing to do with us complying again. Just like the young man with his hands out.
Mm-hmm.
And his whole talking like, hey, I don't have a bit of blah, 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 my dog's in here. You still came guns ablazing, ready to light that car up.
Mm-hmm.
They were waiting for him to make one
move. And he was aware of that. You know, he was aware of that.
Right. He was very aware of that. But that's my point. Like the fact that we have to live aware like that, but then you can sit there and say, I don't know what that's like. I have no idea.
You know what? When white people tell me shit like that, and they really used to do it, you know, before everything became really transparent, and they would say, well, he just should have.
Right.
And it's like, you don't live in my skin.
Right.
I said, you know, even you have different, you know, even when I have contact with you, I can see the way that you interact with other people of your kind.
Right.
Your tone changes. Right. You ever wonder why black people have like a 5-second delay, especially when they're talking to white people? Because we have to decipher so much shit.
Right.
You know, you're actually translating. You listen to pitch, tone, and the words that are being used.
Right.
You know, and they're like, what do you mean? But I'm not. Yes, you are.
Right.
It is how you brought up. It is definitely how you brought up. I have a mixed granddaughter, and the way that they raise her, and it's like, oh, now I understand how you can tell your mother you hate her or something like that. Right. You know, that kind of weird shit. It's like, it's just how it's in how you're raised.
Right. Right. Because you don't even look at it like that. Like you don't look at the police as authority. You look at the police as just somebody you pay to protect. And when they're not doing your job, they're not doing the job to your satisfaction. You get to spew your dissatisfaction. Just like you can call a credit card company and go, I don't understand what this charge is and I'm not paying it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to do it.
Right. And that'll be, okay, ma'am. Well, let's okay, ma'am. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, sir. But with us, there's no I'm not doing it. There's none of that. Because the minute then you're not complying. Then all of a sudden you're not. It's like even with him going back to the court case. They're sitting there testifying. Well, he was moving around. Well, he was trying to breathe because y'all were literally laying on top of him and under him with concrete. So what the fuck was he supposed to do?
And of course they said, and of course when they said, well, you know, you can speak, then you can breathe. It's like,
if you can you can hear.
You have somebody sitting on your back, you know.
Right.
And that's a horrible feeling.
Right. We're not even talking about the other officers. That's even having somebody with their knee on your neck.
Yeah, and you couldn't, and that's another thing. He couldn't really adjust himself because they're holding his legs.
Right.
So he really can't lift his chest up.
Right.
So that he could actually, you know, be able to take in some air.
Yeah.
But they do, man. When you have to sit down and you're talking to them, and you just have to run all this shit through your mind as you know, as you're in this conversation, and they just don't get it.
No, and they don't get it.
Always, they don't care, and they're not, and because it doesn't inconvenience them.
Yeah,
it doesn't inconvenience them.
Yeah, it's not even to a point for them to care, and that's so we sit there and talk about they need sensitivity training, they need all this. No, they need to be uprooted. What we do is just that. We need to start, like, of course, not to bring up my old school, but Lincoln started a program, the first black school to start a policing program to kind of initiate black police cadets into the system. But we need to have that and have them come into our neighborhoods and just police us for a while. Like, let us police us. Y'all take y'all lily white people and y'all go police our own neighborhoods and bang up and shoot up on Lillian and Beth Ann while they shooting meth and walking around and they shoot them up.
Oh, you know that's not going to happen,
right?
Because they need medical help. That's not going to happen,
right? They have a sickness. Well,
they have a sickness.
It's all a sickness. But no, you're not gonna light up Beth Ann and shoot her up. So I mean, it's like, what's what are we really doing here? And we always seem to be having these kumbaya moments, and it's just like, come on.
Yeah. But I always tell the young guys, when you interact with them and police officers, treat it as though you're talking about your money.
Right.
You know, they're not your friend.
Right.
They're not your homeboys. Don't use the street language.
Right.
You speak to them in plain English, like you're really doing a transaction and you're talking about your money and they're trying to jip you out your money.
Right. Right.
And remember, and I always tell them too, because a lot of young people don't know. They work for you.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes you have to pull that, when they get ridiculous and start talking to you all sideways and everything. It's like, wait a minute. Of course you want to say, wait a minute, motherfucker. You work for me. You can't say that. Wait a minute. You work for me.
Right.
You will treat me, and then you lay it down lay it down. You
and
work for me.
Get your badge number and you show up.
Uh-huh. Yeah, white people that shit. Old people that shit. That's what I call it. You know what? I'll discuss it with your sergeant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I said, because matter of fact, I got time today. Because I said that every now and then. I got time today for this shit.
Right.
Then they kind of back off because they always think that you're talking to somebody on the street. Right. They're not aware of.
Because they know, they have this idea that a lot of us don't know the law and don't know.
Mm-hmm. And they play on that.
And then they'll go, well, it's against the law to do where?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Yeah. And they play on it.
They play on it hard.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when they come at me with that. I'd be like, oh, I don't recall that one. Is that Maryland Code so and so and so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you? Yeah, thank you. Just give me the citation. I'll see you in court. Like, there's no.
Yeah, we're not going to back and forth with this.
No. Because their pride gets hurt, then they want to get aggressive.
Oh yeah, then it becomes personal. Yeah. But I've had them roll through the block, and kids will be up on the porch. They've been up on the porch all day long. It's summertime, and the cops want to stop, and they'll call them or something like that, and they'll start talking to them, and I'll say, "Where's your mother at?
Right?
Is there something wrong here?" Well, I'm talking, and the cop will tell me,
I'm talking to them.
I'm talking to them. And who are you? How does this concern you? And I say, I'm the fucking neighbor.
Right. I said, first of all, are they over the age of 18?
18, that's right. Because they're not.
To be talking
to them. I said, matter of fact, go in the house and call your mother. Because usually mother's at work. Call your mother, go in the house. And he better not go up on that porch. I said, because I've been sitting right here across the street.
Right.
And I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, they don't stop. They really don't stop. They really do not stop. It's almost like they have to embed. And that's what I think about even with that creep on trial now. The look on his face. At that point, he didn't care about if George Floyd was dying or not. His whole thing was everybody watching and saying and calling him a bitch and saying all that. This is going to be you next. You see this? This is going to be you. Watch yourself. And this is going to be you. And I'm coming for you. That's his whole stare and his look in his face was all about that. And every little twitch he felt George Floyd's body doing, because of course he was gone, he just kept applying more pressure. So I mean, it's just that. It's keep applying pressure. Every time they get aggressive or every time they try to tell you what your place is and that you work for them, you get aggressive and show them who's boss. That's all this is. It's this kind of machismo, who's got the biggest penis thing.
Yeah, it's a power play. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Hey, Virginia Redbone.
Hey, Virginia Redbone. How are you? I'm still a little teetered. Yeah. Miss me. Anyway. I just came across this article, so I didn't read it much, but when I saw the title, I was like, oh, what, are you serious? So Inside Edition did a story of a black cop that was beaten like Rodney King in St. Louis, and he's claiming racism. But of course you can now. You know what I mean? This is the thing, and this is the problem that I have with officers that are black and other officers of color. You do this to want to get inside of the frat group, right? And you think you're so much accepted into the frat group until you become the hazed person. And then all of a sudden, you realize it ain't so much of a brotherhood as you thought it was.
Yeah, it looked good from the outside.
So you was an undercover police officer that I'm sure at some point when they was whooping your behind, you identified yourself. And some of them officers probably even knew who you were.
Knew he was.
So, I mean, I don't understand. Don't block you. Whatever. Just don't do that. But anyway, yeah, I just thought that was like, come on. I really wish a lot of our black and brown and other officers would really just be like, all right, enough's enough. Yes, this goes on. Yes, that goes on. Yes, I did it because I wanted a job and I, blah, 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 something. Because this is like, it's too much. It is too much. How long can you stand by and just let this go on? How long can you just, it's like almost, to me, it almost reminds me of like slavery and then the masters and then all that. Like, who could sit by after a while and really just watch this and be okay? Like, you could sit there and know
it's going to boil over.
Yeah,
it's coming to a head. It's coming to a head.
You know all that, but still, who could really sit here and not be so enraged that you do a Nat Turner?
And it's going to get to that point. I'm telling you.
That you Harriet Tubman some of these mofos. Okay?
Look, the United States is definitely going to fall. It's going to implode. We don't have to worry about anybody else from the outside doing anything to us. Yeah. We're doing it to ourselves. Actually, the white guys are doing it.
Right. Well, because they feel just like this. If they're going to take it from us, I'll burn it first. I'll burn it first. They've already said it. I seen a video of the one guy talking. It was two police officers. I think they were put on desk duty now, but they were talking, and they claimed one of them didn't know their body camera was on. But basically, they were saying that how they're afraid because everything's becoming brown and stuff. Everything's becoming, there's no more white men now. There's no more white. Everything is mixed. Everybody's mixed. He's like, my son, he was dating a Chinese girl. I mean, and she's all right. She's just not one of them. But still, I don't know if I want that in my family.
Yeah, till you slip up and call out a name.
Right. But that is my issue with them in general. A lot of them think that, well, you know what I'm saying? We sit up in terms of, let's stop the Asian violence. But what about the black hatred? We still ain't getting no. I mean, they just got a couple $1 million to help this whole Asian hate crime. What about the black hate crime that's been going on for years?
For years.
And people been hanging from trees or discovered with their organs missing, and nobody knows how that happened. But newspaper or the Emmett Tills, where an old ass lady gets to live her entire life, a whole lie, and then decide when she's about to kick the bucket so she can make sure that hopefully she gets into white heaven with white Jesus. She can sit there and say, about that little boy, I lied. Now going back.
I'd have took her 15 minutes.
I'd have took her 15 minutes. I'd have took her 2 seconds, and she would have been behind a jail cell.
You know what? I just had a thought when you said heaven. I hope heaven is segregated. God damn.
I hope heaven
I want to be able to rest in peace.
I hope heaven is blackity black, then black.
Oh hell yeah.
And all them people just feel sick to their stomach that they got to deal with
that. Now, they motherfuckers think, hey, when the hell.
This must be hell.
That damn casket be shaking and shit. Woo! Yes, Lord.
Damn sick.
Yes. You tell them, we're having today? We're having some chitlins today. God dang.
Didn't we just have chitlins yesterday?
Yeah, it's chitlins every day in heaven.
Chitlins and fresh watermelon.
Melon.
So ignorant. I mean, I'm over it. Like, I really.
It is so exhausting.
It is. It really is. And there's no way I could keep any kind of like sanity with all this. Like, it's just, it makes you so enraged. And then I don't understand people like, oh, well, there's no reason for people to be angry. How? There are lives being lost. There are children going out without parents.
Furious. They should be furious.
Children going out without parents. The only thing that I say was like, oh, they done did it now is because this young man's mother happens to be white. That's the only reason why they may get a little more like, oh, let's hurry up and do something. Other than that, we'd be sitting here still talking about let's have peace. Let's have peace. Well, we're going to stop having peace and kumbaya, holding each other's hands and really get down to business and say, you know what?
I am so done with it. I am so done with it.
I mean, that Martin Luther King era worked for him, even to an extent. Because you see what happened to him. I mean, so it works when, you can talk nonviolence while they pelling you with all kinds of stuff and doing all this other kind of stuff. And as long as you talk that mess, they're okay with it. But the minute you start saying, well, hey, listen, we need to do better. We need to start focusing on stop spending money here and there and really, now we need to get rid of it. Because you're not just giving a thing of compliance. You're actually saying, hey, no, I need you to, stand up on your own 2 feet, create our own businesses. We don't even need them, really. If we come together, we don't need them. No, they don't want to hear that. They rather hear you talk about, let's just be peaceful. And
violence does have its place.
Yeah, it's the same history that they taught us. How you get to the United States?
Yeah. Not only the United States, all these other countries.
Other countries, right. How did you get them? How did you get all these states? Okay.
Thank you.
So, I don't know. It's just crazy. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for coming. Everybody that popped in. Sorry, we're just running off. But, yeah, that was just, I was so over it. So over it. I didn't watch the movies that you sent, but I did get them. But I hadn't watched them yet. But
okay. Have you, another one, Them.
No. I saw a clip of
it will trigger you.
Oh, God.
It will trigger you, and it's 8 episodes. No, it's 10 episodes. You're gonna be mad. You're gonna be mad, but it was good. But you're gonna be mad.
Okay, well, I guess. Myself.
Matter of fact, I was watching all this trigger and shit the whole weekend, which didn't help any either. And I called myself not watching the news. That's why I didn't send you anything, because I was like, I'm not watching any news this week's too much dumb shit going on. And then I'm paying for the shit that I'm watching that's triggering me.
That part. I have to watch it, but I don't know. All this stuff it's not triggered, but it's just, it brings a level of frustration for me when there's nothing being done and it's constantly happening, and it's just like over and over and over and over and over and over. And then you get, even on our side, I'd say it all the time. Then you get the vultures on our side who pounce on these things, and then it's like, okay, now you got Crump and the action.
Yeah, he was on the morning show with the family. Does he ever try a case, or he's just the figurehead?
That's what I really would like to know. That, like, have you ever tried a case? Have you really ever tried a case? I think he tried a little bit of the Trayvon, and then they took him out and placed somebody else.
And but now he just seems like.
Now he just goes around and
Gloria Allred. That's what it reminds me of. As soon as something happened, ambulance chaser.
Right. He's an ambulance chaser, but the ambulance chaser off of grief. That I find a bit disturbing, and it's just like, look, we can't on one end, I get that you're trying to support and maybe give them legal advice and stuff that will, but on the back end of that, I know you're getting a chunk of change. So where is that going to help all of this from stop happening? Why is none of that, the couple of millions of dollars that I know your firm may be getting for these families, why is that not going to these communities to help assist with some sort of change in how the policing is done in these communities? Why is that? But all we're getting is, somebody shot. It's almost like, years ago, my brother used to have a little two-way radio thing, and he used to listen to the police stuff, and we used to sit there like, oh, I wonder what that. Oh, I wonder what that means. It's almost like they sit with something and be like, oh, somebody shot. Oh, let's go run down the. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, come on, we can't keep doing this. It's almost like on one end, somebody else is making money off of get rid of us, and on the other end, even in our own circles, somebody else is pouncing on to be like, well, sorry for your loss.
Yeah, and he's right there. Because I'm sure the phone rang as soon as it happened.
Instantly. And of course now, the Floyd family and that young man's family have kind of joined forces. But at the same time, it's another life lost.
Yeah.
It's another life lost. And nothing has changed.
Not a thing.
And that was graphic. That was
the same cycle. Over and over again.
Right. And now they get to the point where they've learned their lesson from playing George Floyd's death, that they don't even play it no more. So now they play up to the point of the interaction and then stop.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, Patty Duke. If you get triggered very easy, don't watch them. It's rough. It's rough as hell. It really is. It's rough.
Oh, but I'm gonna watch it.
Don't be scared now.
No, I won't.
But it's triggering. It's like
that's okay.
Every pain.
I message you every time. I be like, here it goes. Here's another one. Did they really? And I'll just. I told you it was triggering. But.
Yeah. Especially when you work with white people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. It's like, oh shit, I remember that shit, and oh yeah, I forgot all about that shit. A lot of stuff you just brush off.
Like, it was funny. Once I was talking to a customer, and she's like, "You work for a company that steals from the American people? That's a shame. How could you do that?" I said, well, if they did, they're not the only company that stole from the American people. Elected politicians or semi-politicians that have stolen from the American people. Well, I'm not really talking about that. Well, you should, because if you're going to talk about companies, then let's put everybody in there. We're not going to just talk about one company just because you did not read the fine print on your contract. It's not my problem.
Okay, Ethel?
But then she said, well, who reads the fine print? I said, well, honey, we all should. If you spotted something, woman, you should.
Better.
That's ridiculous. But then I already knew she was, of the other persuasion. But for you to get, who does that? What the hell? We all should.
Yeah, you better. You done sold your ass.
A little bit you got.
I've seen it on Pornhub. I done seen some old shit. Yeah, it's still they make a coin.
Right, droopy potato salad. Yeah,
moisturize. Just remember, moisturize.
Please moisturize. That dusty old cat looked like something out of the Broadway Cats when they just revived it, talking about stuff. Yeah, you might need a little lotion. Just
tangled and mangled.
That one neglected cat. That was her. So but I don't know. These people just need to get it together. I can't function.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It is really hard.
Yeah, but nothing at me. They'd be like, "You're gonna get fired." Like, no, I'm not. Well, I mean, whatever. But I just don't like. It'd be like, okay, yep, I hear you. Yeah. Okay, well, are you gonna pay the little 14 cents? I mean, these people will be like over the hill of 14 cents, and you'd be like, people are dying.
Mm.
And if you didn't read your contract, child, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry for it. But please, yes, as always, please don't neglect your cats. Moisturize.
And read the fine lines.
And read the fine print. Okay? Just don't sign something. Please read the fine print because the devil is in the details.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the dryness.
Yeah, because you think you in hell.
You would be getting poked with something and it won't be pleasurable.
You think you in hell.
It's like little needles. Like, what in hell?
That's right. Riding a dry pole. Ooh, Lord.
It is the yes, it definitely is the principle. Got it. Good. Thank you, Golden Goods. Keep it moisturized.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing worse.
That's right.
And for the gentleman too, make sure it's not ashy because sometimes it could be looking a little dry.
You say no old dry.
So what it looking dry? Some of y'all, some of y'all men's be taking y'all pictures, giving and showing these women, or just going Facebook and be like, "Oh, can I FaceTime you?" and be showing you a little dry, dusty, crusty. And don't nobody want to even touch that. And talking about some, you like that? No, I think it would like some lotion, some oil, some something, Talking about, that's the light. No, that's ashy.
Mm-hmm. Put your best foot or whatever it is forward.
Please do that. So word and phrases of the day: moisturize.
Mm-hmm.
Please
and thank you.
Moisturize and thank you. But no, seriously, we definitely need to get it together, people. We need to get it together. All this banner and fun is great and cool, but at the end of the day, we're out here losing our lives in the streets, and worrying about people and their business, and we need to be focusing on larger things. Because as we see, we still sit up here getting a group of Congress men and women together in a black caucus to talk about reparations, and one white man shoots up 4 happy ending brothel salons with a sex addiction, and they get money right off the bat.
Right.
And we still in the pit talking about some. Can I please? Excuse me, please. We've been here. My grandmama. So I mean, make it make sense. That's all.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. But yeah.
Unreal.
That's all I have. It's really
one thing. Well, you have to laugh sometimes. This shit is just. This shit is just
sadness. Yeah. The laughter is good medicine for the soul.
That's the wellness portion. And the weather's getting warm, so people go outside.
Yes.
Go outside. Go outside.
Still wear your mask.
Still wear your mask. Go for a walk. Get at least an hour's worth of sun, because you've been sitting in the house and sitting in the house and sitting in the house, and it's not good for you. You need to get this. You need to get some vitamin D.
Right. and it's about to be sundress weather, so your sundress. You don't want that to be dry, because that friction that cause a fire, and then a whole nother story. So make sure get moisturize. Sundress.
What you got in that jar?
That's some light fabric. Right.
That's right. Mask and walk. Definitely go outside and get some air.
That's right. We're gonna mask, walk, moisturize, and pray.
Mm-hmm. Yep. in that order.
And in that order. In that order. In that
order.
In that order. Like, girl, you don't go sit down and live out your top dreams.
Yes.
But, yes.
Crazy.
Yeah. So let's see. Any announcements this week? Thursday will be the Gentleman's Panel on Conscious TV's channel. So please make sure you check that out. Hey, Miss T Velocity, how are you?
Hey, Miss T.
So definitely make sure you check out us over there at Conscious TV Land, where of course it's gonna be great fun.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's gonna be nice to look it up. Everybody over here should know that the phrase, well, not even the phrase, but the motion that would get you messed up. Okay, every time Conscious does this or rubs his tattoo, you have to take a drink. But he knows it now.
He knows it now.
That was our little.
Yeah, he was probably trembling last week, right? Trying to keep his hands down. little beads of sweat were on his brow.
No, can't do it. But yeah. So that is our thing. He starts doing this because he always does this.
You take a hit. You take a shot.
Take a shot. By the end of the Gentleman's Panel, you will be very enjoyed. Yeah, because I start with a full cup. By the time it fit, it'd be like, he stopped. But yeah, no. Thank you guys for always coming and hanging out. It's been great. Remember to mask, walk, moisturize. Can't stress that enough. And pray.
That's right.
Yeah, because we definitely need to pray some things away. Because mercy, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you see the article about the children in the daycare?
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put that one. Daycare in Georgia. Thank you. Daycare in Georgia was feeding the white children first and then feeding the black children. The parents of one of the attendees of the daycare happened to see what was going on because they, were working and happened to watch the cam footage. And as they were watching the cam footage, they noticed that all of the white kids was eating, and then the black kids ate second. So they took screenshots, and it went viral. And because it was a franchise, so the corporation wound up pulling their name from that daycare center. But the CEO still said, "Well, if you watch the entire video, then you would understand that maybe that there was dietary needs that were different from the others."
Oh, so white kids eat differently from black kids?
That's just what my thought was. Like, so white kids eat differently from black kids? Because if there were different dietary needs or anything of that nature, then you just have two different trays, and you would just give the trays equally. You get a blue tray, you get a red tray. I really didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it is Georgia.
No, that was bullshit off the top. That's what that was. Okay.
I'm just saying, it's Georgia. So I'm not, we were able to actually get there and do something with an election thanks to Stacey Abrams and the rest of her soldiers. But at the end of the day, it's still motherfucking Georgia. And they are still racist. And I don't, I'm not surprised. My question is, how long has this been going on before the parents realize my kid is really eating after the white kids? And it wasn't one.
Yeah, it was all of them. And they were sitting at mixed tables.
Right. They're sitting at mixed tables, right? So it's like, how can all of the white kids be eating if the black kids aren't eating? What was you getting them special food? Oh, I'm sorry. Was white people eating white food and black people was eating soul food? Is that what it was? Were we waiting for the order from the Rib Shack or something to come for the other kids? That's. I mean, I really didn't I really didn't get the purpose of that. And then for the CEO of that company, not the daycare, but the CEO of the company of the daycare itself, the corporation of the daycare said, well, if you watch the rest of the video, you would see that it wasn't done racially. It was done because they had different dietary needs. So all the black kids had different diets.
Different diet, yeah. Well, it was chitlins day, you know.
We ran out of the watermelon for ones, so we had to
look. Be aware that they'll go after your children too, especially the younger. You know, the younger that they are. You're looking at 2-year-olds, and 3-year-olds,
and stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying. You would sit there and go, well, how does this cycle continue with the other with children? This is so different. How, if you're already training them, they're seeing it.
Yeah, and it is throughout the entire system.
Right.
Everything is slanted in their favor.
Right, in their favor. Right. So you don't have to tell them, you get first dibs. They'll see it. They know Tariq is not their skin color. They may not look at him like that, but they know it. They know he's different from him or his or her parents. They know that off break. So when they see that one gets treated differently, it's almost the same thing with the black and white dog when they used to do that test and the kids come in and they go, well, black kids will go, I want the white dog. Why? Because it's good, it's better. Well, how do you know that?
It's in everything. It's in your movies that you watch. You have that white savior complex always coming to the rescue, and you don't even really pay it any attention.
Nope.
But after a while, all the movies start to look the same. It's like, oh well, where's the white man?
Well, now they going as far as to really all the movies that with the superheroes that are white. How are they charging themselves or dying? They got their arms stretched out. They looking like Jesus on the cross. And you're like, who's not drawing correlation to that?
Thank you.
Thinkers are instantly seeing that, going, really? You doing that now? Not only did Superman do it, Wonder Woman did it. You know what I'm saying? All of these, none of her Amazon sisters that are black who are true Amazon Wonder Woman women. We won't do that. Because literally this white goddess woman is not a true Amazonian woman, but okay. No. But that's what they try to do. Just like they, with the Eye of Horus, when they did that Egyptian gods of gods, and they were all white. White, yeah. European men, like, are we serious? What are we doing? Not chitlins took long to cook.
No, they pre-cook them and bring them in on load up in the trays.
Right. But that's the thing, Miss T. They didn't even shut it down. All they did was remove their name. So the corporation of the daycare center removed their name. But the daycare center is still functional. And the only thing that they will do for their end is they're going to bring their kids there. That's all. They're going to look at it like thumbs up, and they're just going to bring their kids in to help support whoever runs that daycare to keep it going. The same way they filter money into the Cash Apps and the GoFundMe of a lot of these murderers and killers, even the 17-year-old that shot up them two. Yeah. He's got millions of dollars.
He got millions of dollars because his bail was set so high. I knew he wasn't coming out. But what is it, Little Ricky Schroeder?
Little Ricky Schroeder from Richie Rich and other actors and entertainers and whomever else added to his GoFundMe. Cash bail. It was a cash bail of $2 million. That's not something you come by lightly. That's even somebody who has wealthy money to have $2 million. They still got to go through a process to get it. So to have that just like, wait a minute, okay, we got it. And now this kid is out here drinking in bars with these Proud Boys, taking pictures like,
and he broke his probation because he moved and didn't tell them that he had moved. Where anybody else, they just snatched your ass up off that goddamn street so fucking fast.
But they didn't know because the judge had leniency. Again, here we go. The system.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, people might know where he lives, so it's kind of dangerous. Well,
he should have thought about that before he shot those 3 people and killed 2 of them.
Trying to protect.
I don't even think he spent. Did he even spend a month in jail?
No.
Okay.
No. Less than I think 3 weeks at the most. But I want to say it was even 2.
I know he spent no time whatsoever.
No. Not for what he did. No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to ruin this young kid's life. What about all the other kids that you ruined that had done mistakes, not committed murder, but maybe sold some drugs or whatever because they had to take care of their family or whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
They ain't murdered nobody, but they still sitting behind bars right now. So I really just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah, so be mindful. They're coming after our babies too, you know. Yeah. So if it doesn't look right, check that shit right then and there.
And they're training them that they're less than. You know what I'm saying? That's a prime example of teaching children who's greater and who's less. If I know I get to eat first, the first thing I'm questioning is why. Why did that person get to eat first? And I'm looking at the variable.
Yeah.
I'm darker, you're white, you know, you're different. Okay, maybe that's why. So instantly I'm thinking, you know, even as a little kid, you probably like, well, if I was that way, maybe I
and listen to your kids.
Right.
Listen to them. Right. Have a conversation with them. You can talk about things and just talk around it, but just listen to what they say.
Yeah.
And that they will tell you a lot, and you know, without interrogating them.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes
I'll go ahead. Let's say it's fucked up. That's what this shit is. It's fucked up.
It is so fucked up. It is. It really is. You know, and then try to like villainize the parents for actually taking the screenshots.
Thank you.
It was like, well, they should have.
You know what? My ass would have skipped the fuck down there.
I would have been there. I'd have
been right down there
and went right down there. The father said that his mother went and picked up.
I'd have went.
There are 2 children, but I would have went. I would have left work and everything. Like, gotta go. Gotta go.
They'd ask me what's going on. They'd ask me where you going. I got an emergency.
Get that bail money ready.
Oh no, but by the time I get finished, it wouldn't be no bail money because now you blast all that shit out there. You know, you put it out there.
Yeah,
put it out there. Yeah. You know, use the tool.
Yeah,
your phone is a tool. Yeah. You know, so just definitely go ahead and use it. But they're coming at us at all sides.
Yeah.
Even
more now, because of course, you know, their champion is sitting at his resort with his award for nothing. Okay. Just so you know they can worship him. They had to go give him an award to say, "Oh, we miss you."
Yeah, we miss you. We miss you.
It's really ridiculous, like a dictator, and they really like these people don't see it. Like literally, y'all sit there and shadow this man like he's a dictator, and he was just a power.
And he's the biggest con.
Biggest.
You know, he's the biggest con. And they could not figure out why people with good sense and people of color did not like this man. This man had such a history from back in the day. Definitely robbing people and everything else.
Yeah,
he's filthy.
Yeah, he is.
But he's their champion because he says all the shit that. You know, he says all the shit that they like to hear.
They like to hear.
And these are Christians. And these are Christians.
These are church going folks.
I tell you, that religion.
Bible told. And I'm mad at even some of these pastors that are part of the Southern Baptist Association that happen to be black. Are like, oh, I didn't know they were so racist. How could you not?
They knew. They were getting a piece of the pie, man.
Right.
That's all.
That's it.
Money corrupts. Money corrupts.
Money corrupts. Yeah, that is.
No matter what, money corrupts.
It. Even in the church.
You could fuck a dog on the altar, and they would say it was all right.
Right.
You know.
So crazy. But yeah, I just
So believe your eyes and pay attention. Keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
You know, especially for our little ones. You know.
Yeah.
Because this is the backlash. This is the backlash.
Right. It's subtle, but it's in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like it is the attack where they're going after the little kids. They're attacking on every level as far as adults going out.
Yeah.
Some, every little thing is you're being aggressive. So what do you mean to be docile and just like slaves?
Yeah.
You can't object to anything of mistreatment. If you feel mistreated, you got to kind of keep it to yourself. You better not say nothing because, of course, then the authority will come, and then you will, Well, I don't understand. So people can't object to something that they don't agree with. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know. But your boy Nick Gates is chilling.
Yeah, but you hear how he when he was talking about the young lady, and he called her the 17-year-old woman.
Right.
Did you catch that?
Yes.
And supposedly she's about 20, 21 now.
Right.
And I think she does porn.
Wow.
So he was probably all in that same group.
Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt it. That's why I believe when they say, "Oh, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself." Hell no, he was murdered.
No, because he had the black book with all the names, and he knows
he knows everybody's dirt. He knows
who likes to sniff drawers and who likes to suck toes.
Right.
Okay.
And who like to do both with something in their behind. I can see Lady G now talking about something. It's not me. It's not me at all.
It's all you.
Right.
It's all.
It's somebody else. But yeah, he knew where all the bones was buried, and they had to snipe him out of there before it dropped.
Now I'm surprised they haven't gotten to that woman yet.
Yeah, that
unless they have her like under extra security. She's probably in solitary confinement.
Yeah,
from out of general pop.
Yeah, but I don't even think like what would make you not think that she would as close as she was with him? You don't think she knew?
Oh, they would. Yeah, and she was in on all that stuff.
In on it, right? She was grooming the girls, so grooming the girls and some of the guys, from what I heard.
Yeah. That's all it is. You get these kids that have been tossed away or whatever by their parents.
Right.
You tell them they can make some easy money. All they have to do is keep company. What are you doing transporting a 17-year-old across state lines? Or
even some of these kids where he would sit there and talk to like their older sisters or something. And, we can look into getting her into an Ivy League school. And these parents was letting their daughters go. To these mansions because he said he's going to give them a scholarship into an Ivy League school. Do you see the kind of things that these people are doing?
Yeah.
They're not even doing it a lot of times on a basis of grades and academics. We have to, but they just, who knows it? Oh, okay, go ahead, honey, so you can get into that school. It'll look good and we can brag about it.
Yeah.
But we ain't talk about who's paying for it or how.
Yeah, because we can't afford to send you, so this is the only way you're gonna be able to get the ride. Because if you take a ride,
make sure it's moisturized.
Stop. You say sucking drawers and sniffing toes.
Disgusting. I just like but it goes. It's like no big thing. And that's the only reason. That's why I have the gripe with the whole Cosby thing. Yes, I do believe like, hey man, if you did it, you got to pay for it. But at the same token, if these hunks ain't paying for their crimes, then why does Bill have to pay for his? I'm just.
I want them all to pay for it. It doesn't matter who, because he was just as bad. He knows what it is like, and see that's the problem that I have.
Right. Well, and then, but he always had something to say about what we were doing.
I was getting ready to say. See, that's what I was getting ready to say. He always had something to say.
I mean, it was
about who's doing what and why, and I don't like this, and this isn't the way you're supposed to be.
We need to be doing that the whole time.
Yeah,
giving people pills and
you drugging girls and snatching down drawers.
You sniffing pudding, walking around sniffing Jello.
And I'm positive his wife knew. Had to have known.
Yes, wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly.
I don't even doubt it. I think.
Camille.
Camille.
She was probably saying, "Good, I don't want his old ass on me any goddamn way."
Right.
Smelling like Ben Gay.
Ain't nothing you can do for that anymore. And anyway, it's almost like you probably was just married for convenience. If he was doing all this time, I'm sure you had your little piece on the side while he was dropping Spanish Fly and Flu and other people. So.
Or just for him to leave her alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Just crazy. Crazy.
No, that's America, boy. That's America. Ain't it? It's the shits.
It's the shits, all right. Diarrhea. Running over.
They put pills in the pudding. He was doing a lot with that pudding.
Right. Eat up, girl.
It's probably why his eyes. That's why he went blind. Let me stop.
His fat album.
Karma is a bitch. Karma is a bitch.
It is.
It is a bitch.
That's why I say you be careful about what. If you're going to address someone or you're going to address something, be truthful about it because it comes back to you. And sometimes when you're not truthful in your assessment of people, and when you don't really speak from a genuine place, more of a place of targeting or trying to make fun of or belittle, it definitely comes back at you, and then people start to see you for who you are.
Yeah,
I think all that, years of I like the rap music, they all need to be doing this. It was like, what positive do you have to say about your own race while you sitting up here going around doing comedy shows, and majority of your audience is white, of course, because the stuff you talk about, they laugh because it's what they think. It's just that it's comfortable coming from you because you are a person.
And you're saying it. Right.
You said it, not me. But I was thinking it. So, when you, belittle your own people and they come in laughing at you or laughing with you, yeah, okay, cool. But then eventually, look what happens. All your dirt come out now. Now, all of a sudden, you got canceled by the same people that were sitting around laughing and joking. So it just doesn't make no sense. You guys are all on tonight teaching and trust.
Well, if you can't, do a little, spread a little knowledge.
Yeah.
While you're dragging.
That's what it's about. I mean, for those of us who can drag. Some people too heavy to drag. I just leave you there. You're not even worth it. I don't even muscle. I'll leave you alone. Okay? You're too big. Yeah.
Too anyway, much
it's just fun. But anyway, thank you guys for now. As always, we had a great time. Brother Nate, always good. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for popping in, hanging out. Like I said, Gentleman's Panel on Thursday. It'll be on Conscious TV. And remember, get your glasses. So when you're doing this, okay, we make sure
you take a drink.
Right. So
take a drink every time he does that.
Because he will be doing this.
Now Because like I told you last week, he was shaking because he wanted to do it.
He did it about at least 1 or 2 times, but he was stopping stuff.
But not as many as he normally does.
Yeah. The whole time he be talking, and the construct of women and this patriarchal.
See, that's what I was going to do it on the word patriarchal. How many times he says it? And I said no. I said lately he's been
that's
been playing with the bird.
Yeah, that's because we got on him about that.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to stop
it. He said he tried to stop it.
He tries to stop saying it. Sometimes it comes out, but not as much as it used
to. Oh, really?
He was always talking about, well, that's because, it's masculinity. And we be like, really? We got it.
Remember when they hold up the sign 2 minutes? I was like totally done. I was like, well, let me go get me something to eat while I'm waiting because they won't go on to the next topic yet. Whew. Too much.
Jay Wilson's the best.
Too much. But at least it keeps the bird moist. Because it be glistening. It's still in that healing period.
You don't want to have a dry bird. Probably. You don't want to have a dry bird.
Dry bird.
If you go show the bird, let it be moist. Okay? Keyword of the day
is moist. That'd be a word for the month.
Right.
How
about the word for 2021?
Yeah.
Moisture.
Moisture. Yes. And yes. Like I said, that just blows my mind that people actually do stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was a bit much.
All right, guys. Well, it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, America, be safe. Wear your mask. Moisturize.
That's right.
All right. Till next time. Peace.